it is good news for all of you. And it is because your voices every week, you say good morning and you are loud and you are powerful. And now people are listening.
The UK courts have decided it is unlawful to send any refugees to Rwanda.
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
We're not racist, we're very embracing people actually. You've got to question, why do people want to come here? People want to come here because we are embracing, we are understanding. But what's sad, yeah, my daughter is 30, my son is 30, I'm 33.
Here I come.
Oh.
Here I come.
Yeah, my daughter is 30, my son is 30, I'm 33.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
They work full-time, they work really hard, they can't afford anywhere to live.
This is unbelievable. How can you be 33 years old and your kids are 30? If you watch the full video, you would hear her ranting about how her father built houses and hotels, which were taken away from them and then used to house asylum seekers. Now, her kids can't afford to get a place of their own, even though they work full-time jobs. These are the sorts of lies and ignorance people display on the streets of Britain to fuel hatred and racism towards immigrants, blaming them for all their mistakes and even those of their forefathers. Immigrants are not your problem. Instead of letting misinformation divide us, let's come together to address the real issues. Educate yourself, challenge the lies, and stand against racism. Speak up and support policies that promote fairness and equality for
67% of the British public think immigration is too high. The British public is right. There are now around 11 million foreign-born people in the UK, and for too long, immigration numbers have been far too high. Immigration at this level has serious consequences. In a minute, 48% of social housing in London has a head of household not born in the UK. In the last 10 years, migration has absorbed around about 50% of new housing supply. And some nationalities are exceptionally dependent on social housing. For example, 72% of Somalis live in social housing compared to only 16% of the population more generally. Well, I'll talk a bit in a moment about the record of the last government, but I've already said that for decades, under successive governments, including the last one, but previous ones as well, immigration has been far, far too high. That is a failure by governments over a period of decades, and it is now time to listen to the British people and put this right. Because, Madam Deputy Speaker, high levels of immigration, especially when there is not proper integration, undermines social cohesion. And a nation-state, a society, can't function when you have social fractures. It can't function properly. The nation can't function properly. Society can't function properly when you have fractures in social cohesion. Over in a minute. And in advancing the case that we do have a problem with social cohesion and a lack of integration, I will present some evidence. It's not an assertion. I'll present some evidence in support of that. And let me start with this. The most recent census revealed that a million of our fellow citizens don't speak English at all or properly. In one part of East London, 73% of children do not speak English as their first language. And some nationalities have extremely low rates of economic activity, or very high rates of economic inactivity. So, for example, amongst people born in the Middle East and North Africa, economic inactivity rates are 40%. That is double the rate for people born in the UK. Amongst people born in South and East Asia, the economic inactivity rate is 50% higher than it is for people born in the UK. By contrast, amongst those born in Australia or New Zealand, the economic inactivity rate is only half the level amongst the UK-born population. And I'm afraid to say, when it comes to crime and offending, there are some immigrant groups where levels of criminality are very high. For example, Afghans are 20 times more likely to commit sex offenders than average. People of Congolese origin are 12 times more likely to commit violence, and Algerians are 18 times more likely to commit theft. So these figures, I will give you in just a moment, these figures illustrate that we do have a problem with integration, and that is why we need to get these numbers dramatically down until such time as we can address these issues.
The reason that the UK is taking so many immigrants is not because they're trying to be good people or anything like that. And I can't believe that the bigoted people in the UK still don't understand why the UK is bringing in so many immigrants. Literally has to do with the UK trying to eliminate middle class. They literally just want to have rich people and poor people. They don't want to have a middle. And immigrants is exactly how they're going to do it, because they're going to bring in these people from third world countries that will accept very low salaries and work very long hours and will do the jobs that British people in the UK would never do. And because they're accepting these minuscule wages, they will be making the rich people so much money. Have you ever seen a rich British person ever complain about immigrants? They would never complain about it because they know at the end of the day it's going to benefit them.
A long-standing migrant issue involving Rwanda and Britain has the world's attention yet again. It involves a mutual agreement, a court case, and the fate of thousands of lives. Britain says it is incurring huge expenses in accommodating people seeking asylum in the country. Over the years, small boats have been carrying refuge seekers into Britain through the English Channel. According to the British government, the country spends about $3.8 billion every year on asylum seekers' expenses. The daily cost of housing them in hotels and their food expenses is $7.6 million, a cost that the government says is too high. Britain allows application for asylum, a form of protection that enables one to remain in the country without being deported. Under the British law, a person must be physically present in the European country to qualify for asylum and must have left their home nation and be unable to go back because they fear persecution. Britain hopes to reduce the number of asylum seekers to below 100,000 every year. In 2022 alone, there were 606,000 net immigrations. That's according to the government. So where does Rwanda come in? Faced with a high number of refuge seekers, Britain, under the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson, struck a deal with Rwanda in April 2022 to send the asylum seekers to the East African nation. Under the deal, some people whose asylum applications had been rejected by the UK were to be flown to Rwanda. According to Britain, most asylum applications are automatically rejected if an applicant passes through a safe third country before continuing with their journey to the United Kingdom. That would mean that the asylum seeker transferred to Rwanda would not be eligible to return to the UK, but would settle in the African nation as refugees. At least 24,000 asylum seekers were to be transferred to Rwanda, with Britain reportedly paying the East African country some $176 million for the transfer in June 2022. Britain was also to pay $15,100 for each extra person taken to Rwanda. In exchange, Rwanda said it would settle the refugees, and preparations had already started. A petition challenging Britain's proposed plan was lodged. In December 2022, the High Court ruled that the deal was lawful, but the verdict was overturned at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. On November the 15th this year, the country's top court said it was not assured that Rwanda will not transfer asylum seekers to hostile countries. On December the 5th, British Interior Minister James Cleverly travelled to Rwanda and signed a new deal with the African country, saying the new agreement had addressed issues raised by the courts. Cleverly said there will be a monitoring committee to ensure that asylum seekers' rights are not violated. It is unlikely that the deportation could start before an election expected next year. Britain's opposition, the Labour Party, which is leading in opinion polls, plans to reverse the Rwanda policy if it wins.
All right. Welcome back, family from across Africa and the world. this is something that the people from Europe have been always asking their government to do for them, because they always feel like everything that is happening today in Europe is all being caused by immigrants, because they feel like all this highest population of immigrants who are in UK, in Europe, in France, they are the one who are causing all these crises, all these problems to occur in the countries of Europe. Now, today, something different is happening, whereby I can say that the countries of Africa, some of the countries in Africa are trying to fail Africans, because at this time, how can, for so long, these people have been always looking towards Africa as a dumping site. That's why whenever they feel like something is not good, they have to find a way to export, to dispose. And the only place they look up to
shut your industries up if you're talking about green energy.
So when we see the countries like Rwanda accepting to receive all these illegal migrants from Europe or from UK, now what do this mean? And now they are trying to tell immigrants that they are looking for the best way of them to survive and get new life, because the life in UK has become so high that that's making them to suffer, maybe, or to undergo all these problems that some of them are no longer able to afford their own life and their basic needs. But we know that the fact and the reality here is that the Europe or UK is trying to eliminate the middle class and the poor class people, so that they can maintain this country with the rich people only. So this is not only happening to the people from Africa, but people across the world, because, I came across a video of one European who was in Africa, in the European Union Parliament, and he was trying to ask them, where do you want these immigrants to go? Because you are the one who caused all of these problems. All these reasons of UK, of Europe having the highest number of migrants who can refer to refugees, some of them who are refugees. It all created or caused by people from West, because they were the one who are bombing all their countries. They're the one who are bombing and destroying their own countries. We have many people from Libya, and we have many people from Iraq. We have many people from many countries across the world, whereby the countries from Europe went to destroy their own countries, which caused to this a high number of refugees and immigrants, because they felt like after their countries has been destroyed, they only felt like the only place they can find somewhere or a place to make their own life is in Europe. And now the same Europe today is turning against them and feeling like they're the one who have caused all that is affecting the countries in Europe. So some of the countries in Africa today that I can blame is the countries who are accepting these offers, because some of the African leaders, they only think about today, but they don't think about the future of tomorrow. So if the countries from Europe have decided they want to pay some of the countries in Africa to accept the illegal immigrants in Europe, which they are feeling like, now the African leaders are feeling like they are going to benefit from this, but they are not knowing that they are creating a problem for future. Because when they accept all these immigrants in Africa, it is like they are creating another population. They are creating another generation to African countries. So this is the problem that the people from Europe has failed to manage. And now they feel like the only place that can manage this problem is in Africa. So Rwanda, I think this time has failed Africans, because first of all, Rwanda is a small country that is struggling to survive, that is struggling to deliver to the people. So how comes that it is accepting to accommodate all this highest population from UK, just because they've been given something. So I don't know what's happening here, but for the African countries, we have to wake up, because these people have already painted as a picture over Africa, and they displayed in a certain way, and we are the one today who are trying to justify to them that what they thought about Africa is real. So if we cannot be wake up today and decide to do things as how it is supposed to be done, on how we feel like we're protecting the continent, and we are trying to secure the lives of the people and try to fight for the development, but not destruction, because all this is about destruction, because we are unable at this time to manage the population that Africa today is having. And then other countries are trying today to accept and to receive other people, immigrants who have been like dumped from other countries because they have failed to protect them or to live with them. And now we are the one who are receiving. So this is the problem that is going to affect Africa entirely. Be blessed, Rachel, for my life, and appreciate you. Have a nice holiday, wherever you're watching from. Just let me have your views in the comment section. Keep on subscribing. This is the Kenyan Explorer, and be blessed, Rachel, from